How do artists build relationships with press?
It's I would like to say it's pretty simple. It's probably a little more complicated than I am letting on, but I think it's just a matter of reaching out to people. Like looking at the masthead on websites and finding writers. But the thing is, the key to that is looking for a writer who would potentially like the music that you do. Because I get upwards of, I would say between 25 and 40 emails every single workday.
Jeez.
That's just promos. That's not even like work stuff or, my Astro Poets newsletter that I get. It's strictly PR, and I skim a lot of it, and the first word I see where I'm like, nope, this is not for me, delete. So
mine is Yo Yo Dog. Put me on your podcast. Yo Yo Dog, write a column about me. I'm next.
That's the full body of the email. Yo Yo Dog, put me on your podcast. I'm next. Nope, delete.
Oh my gosh. Is there first let's start with emails.
Okay.
Header, what should people be saying? Not the header, I mean what is that called? Like the
subject line.
Subject line. There we go.
Header works though.
Cool.
I mean, well, it's not a situation where there should be something that is like a tagline. Like, personally, I hate taglines in headers or subject titles. Like, I think it should be the artist and what the artist is promoting. And then, I mean, because most of us do actually read those emails. It's not like, oh, we're gonna delete this if if you don't have a cool name or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, and also some PR people like do this weird thing where they will put like a word stew in the subject line after the artist's name. Like it's always some identity qualifying thing, like,
oh, yes,
like Black, LGBTQ, and it's like, that doesn't matter to me. What matters to me is if your music is good.
Yeah.
Because I know a lot of musicians all across the gender, racial, ability spectrum. But it comes down to, is your music good?
I have one qualm in Seattle. And people can fight me on this.
Uh-oh.
But I feel that minority artists in Seattle are quick to say that if they're not being picked up by publications, that writers or media outlets are racist. And I don't know if I really agree with that here in Seattle. How do you feel about that take?
No, I feel as though it's kind of a straw man argument, because media companies are getting very diverse. I mean, speaking in the context of KEXP alone, like our editorial team is the most diverse team in the entire org. Like, we have people of, all different, well, not all different races, but we have people of, it's a team of like 8, and we got
a black guy right here.
Yeah, got a black guy right here. And we've got another black guy. We've got, I think, so I think the women outnumber the men on our team as well.
Mm.
And we do have Asian women. We have our Latin American content coordinator, Albina, who is phenomenal. She brings in so much good music. She is introducing KEXP to an entirely new audience, and I think that's amazing. And I give a lot of kudos to KEXP for, bringing Albina from Argentina and
Mm.
having her build this thing, because the Latin American audience is so big for us.
Yeah, you guys actually, you do a pretty good job, honestly. On, there's some Seattle artists don't get highlighted, which just happens.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to like just artists throughout the industry that you guys highlight, like I'm not more than once I've gotten jealous.
We've been trying to branch out more, trying to get more musical diversity on KEXP. I know when I got hired, there wasn't really a lot of rap coverage on the site and
Mm-hmm.
rap being played on the station.
Mm-hmm.
And then we switched up our format in 2020, and now two of our daytime DJs are rappers.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know if Larry considers himself a rapper anymore, but he definitely used to rap, and he definitely is a very knowledgeable student of the rap game. But I think that's crucial because you know Seattle in general and KEXP specifically, up to a certain point, were stereotyped as very white.
Yeah.
And so, like, that white indie alternative sort of crowd. But then, we slowly started to build our ranks and include, we had great perimeter shows like Street Sounds and Woe Pop, and even going back to Best Ambiance, but it was never like a focus.
Mm-hmm.
And now, with the work Albina's doing and Larry and Gabriel playing rap every day on their shows, and it's one of those things where it's like rap is like still slowly being integrated into like our overall platform. I think there's a lot of stuff that we could do. I won't say do better. There's a lot of stuff we could do more of when it comes to rap coverage. And like, I'm a rap obsessive, been listening to rap since the womb, but I'm only one guy.
Yeah. That's why it's like a double-edged sword almost. Like, you want media companies to highlight certain people, but like as the writers get older, they're not going to as many shows, and then maybe a lot of the music they're finding is from secondhand, like hearing from other people. So like then it kind of comes to the artists knowing how to reach out to people as well.
Right. Tell me about it, man. I'm 38, man. I got to get home and feed my dog. I can't be out till 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Going to shows.
Like, I'm young, so I'm able to do all this right now, but I don't know if I'm going to be going. And I already don't really like going to concerts, to be honest. Like, if I'm going to a concert, I'm very business mindset, and I'm like, if I can go to the green room and talk to the artist there, I'm going to the show. Otherwise, I don't want to be around a bunch of random people. You know what I mean? So, like, I'm doing what I can right now, but who knows? Maybe in the next 5 years, I might not even want to go to concerts at all.
Right.
So that goes to like making sure I have relationships with multiple media entities, so that we're all can pull from different groups of people.
Right. And I try to keep my ear to the streets, but there's so much stuff out there that if an artist doesn't reach out to a writer who they think will represent them well, then sometimes, it slips through the cracks.
Yeah, but what's the difference between reaching out and spamming someone? Because I bet there's certain artists that probably just try to reach out to every single person. And
Mm-hmm.
I would just assume maybe this doesn't happen, but if I was working at a place like a radio station and me and all the writers are being hit up by the same person, it almost become like an inside joke where I'm like, did he reach out to you as well?
Oh yeah.
So like, how do you know if you're reaching out appropriately versus just spamming everyone?
I think an artist has to be very intentional about who they are reaching out to. I think knowing your audience is a big factor in whether or not your music gets listened to and covered appropriately. So I think if you were in a grindcore metal band, I'm probably not going to listen to you, but I know somebody who would.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you're one of these, like sad, elegant indie artists that, kind of like soft adult alternative that's taking over the indie scene.
Yeah.
I'm probably not going to listen to your shit, but I know someone who would.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's one of those things where I don't want to say you have to, but it would benefit you to study, at least do a little studying on the writers that are in this music scene and figure out what they like, figure out what they tend to cover, figure out, their opinions about other artists who you might be influenced by or that you might find yourself collaborating with, because those things are all important. It's just a situation of really paying attention to the writers that are out there, especially the ones who are doing good work, because they are doing stuff all the time and listening to all sorts of stuff. And so if you are wasting their time in a way by, sending them 3-4 emails in a week about something that they don't really like, then that could hurt your chances of them wanting to show your music to someone else.
Mm-hmm. And I've heard, I don't know if this is something you should do or shouldn't do, but I've heard some artists write up their own press release and just have a writer just copy and paste that. Is that the wrong way to go about it, or who's wrong in that sense?
So I wrote my first big artist bio for Enum Claw's album that's coming out in October. And a lot of sites did that copy and paste job, and I thought it was really lazy.
Mm-hmm.
And ethically, it is kind of dicey because it's not the writing of whoever is putting that into the article.
Mm-hmm.
It's, essentially my writing. And yeah, like it's really, it's a bad look.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you have any more? I want to move on to Seattle now, but do you have any more advice for the general artist when it comes to like reaching out to you or other publications before we switch?
I would just say, don't make finding the person who will cover your art the focus. Make your art the focus, and then find the person who might like your stuff.
Hell yeah. And don't get discouraged if you don't hear back. There's so many writers out there, and people are busy, but if you're good, you have better chances. Probably.
Also, patience.
Patience.
I can't stress enough that as an artist, you have to be patient to find that quote unquote big break. Like there are so many artists that kind of put the cart before the horse, and they'll hire a publicist when they've only done 4 or 5 shows and barely have a self-released EP out, instead of going out there and working on their craft. Like there's this band called Lemon Boy, and they're like a garage pop sort of alternative, like really good young band, and they don't have any recordings yet. They make their own merch. They screen print their own merch, and they're out there grinding. They're out there playing shows. They're out there, finding their audience. And I think that's a beautiful way of going about it. Instead of thinking about your career before your career is even started, you should be out there honing your art, honing your craft, getting out there and grinding and doing live shows and bringing music to people. And it's been cool to see Lemon Boy from their very first show. They played a backyard vintage makers market that that my girlfriend's friend has in her backyard.
Oh, so they're from Seattle?
Yeah, and they're from Seattle.
Check them out.
And they've been playing shows all over town, and they're really coming up, and I'm looking forward to listening to their recorded output once they have some. But for now, I love going to their shows, and I love that they're not putting the cart before the horse. I don't like to say that people are doing things a right or a wrong way, because there's so many ways to, do it the right way. There are so many right ways, but in my opinion, Lemon Boy's doing it the right way.
It just takes time, which I hate, but it does. And you need time to evolve as a person, as an artist as well. Just, it's what it is.
Absolutely.